As soon as you come on this show, as soon as you hit the note. No front, no front, no front, no front. No front, no front. Hey everybody, it's me, your girl AM with No Friend the Podcast, and I have a special guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, I'm Noel Divine. Nice to meet you guys.
And Noel, where are you from, man? Let people know.
Okay, so I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana, but I currently live here in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so I didn't know you were from Lake Charles. See, people, I thought she was from Dallas. Even I find out new things about my guest.
Yeah.
So Noel Divine, so that is her business name, and that's what we're going to call her today. And we're
Yeah.
here to discuss her business, but we're also going to discuss how having faith influences her business and it should influence all of us in our daily lives. But Noel, tell people what you do. Like, what is your passion?
So I have quite a few passions, but my main passion is helping people figure out what path they want to take, helping people figure out what changes they need to make in their life, and just really just figuring out how I can be of service to other people. That's what my passion is. But in line with that is how I started my business, Noel Divine, with crystals, because that's something that was really an interesting topic for me, and I was learning about it, and I felt like I could learn with other people, and we could all kind of like teach each other and stuff, and it's grown from there. But my other passion is I actually went to school for nutrition, so I'm
Oh,
actually
okay.
I know a lot of people don't know that.
That
This
is
was
see,
my
there's a
path.
lot of things about you people don't know.
So cooking is my first passion. So eventually I do want to open a food truck because I feel like nourishment is just the best way to show that you love somebody and that you care about people. So I'm just like, yeah, I like to get
Oh,
to eat.
like
I like
yeah.
to get to
I
eat.
mean,
I cook.
food
Yes.
is the way to my heart. Food is the way to my heart. I
Um,
understand. But okay, so one of the reasons why you're here is about your crystals. So how long have you been in regards to your journey about finding information about crystals and also supplying others with crystals?
so I want to say my journey started about 10 years ago. This was
You
a
said 10
minute
or
ago.
2.
10 years.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how long I had to actually sit back the other day. Someone asked me the question, and I was like, dang, you know, a year is it crazy? But it's been almost 10 years that I've been learning about crystals, and it was an interesting journey to start with. But I want to say it was 10 years ago that I started looking into information about what each crystal represents, the color, what chakra it aligns with, which signs they work best with, what energy they connect with, which crystals help with disconnecting, which crystals help with like just any and everything on a physical, spiritual, and emotional level. Like, how can we use these tools to align with what it is that we want to align with? But then it wasn't until 3 years ago that I actually started my business, and that's
Oh,
when
okay, so
I
you
started
started
helping.
so 10 years ago you started to get your own crystals and getting information about it.
Yes, my own knowledge. So I've been studying crystals for 10 years, and I started my business 3 years ago.
I was
So
gonna say, if anyone got any questions about crystals, this is the girl. Hey, 10 years is a long time. Like, do you even
yeah,
remember the first crystal you had? Like, you got?
absolutely, still got it.
What was
It's
it? Okay,
right over
now
here.
you got to talk about what the crystal
Yeah,
is. You can go show us what
absolutely.
the crystal is, what it
Yeah.
does, and why did you pick that crystal?
Okay, I will say my smoky quartz, and it's interesting because I thought I lost her many times. many times. I'm like, I have no idea where she is. And then she'll show up in the middle of me moving, in the middle of a transition, in the middle of just a moment. And I'm like, how did you even get in here? This we were never here together. It's just really interesting because they are energy beings. They're stones, but they do have frequencies. And it's really interesting how they just disappear and how they appear. People can never explain it, but it's science. So, and science is a form of spirituality as well. So I just feel like it's really interesting to see how we can incorporate these different crystals into our lives. So I chose smoky quartz. And
Okay.
smoky quartz,
Yeah, look, I was gonna
smoky
ask. I
quartz.
couldn't hear
Did
you
you
at
know
first, but then
them?
I heard it. Yeah, I heard you now.
Okay. So smoky quartz is a grounding stone. So it helps with grounding your energy. It helps with anxiousness. It helps with just making sure that you feel like you got both feet on the ground, So at the time, that's what I needed. I was struggling with being really anxious and just being on edge all of the time. And it was a crystal that someone recommended for me. So I got it. And I still have it. So
So, who actually got you? Like, was there anyone that got you into crystals, or someone that introduced you to it?
it was a random girl in a club.
There's nothing you see. You look like you're ashamed to say it. You're like, if I
No,
say
it was
this,
because
mm,
it's crazy. I was in Kansas City. I was in Kansas City for a conference. I think I was doing World Ventures at the time. Do you remember World Ventures? It was like a traveling company. So I was out
yeah.
there for a convention and I was at this party and I was at this bar and this girl just walked up to me and she's like, I hope you don't think this is weird. She was like, but are you a Libra? And I was just like, I am. She was like, do you mind if we talk for a second? And I was just like,
Oh,
yeah,
you're a Libra.
I am a Libra.
I'm a Libra. 1010.
Oh, well, look at that. You see, I mean, look at that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am 1019, so just a few days after you.
Our
I
birthday's
still
almost
believe.
here.
Okay, almost
Yeah,
after.
but I'm so sorry. You were at the club. Some girl felt that
Yes.
Libra vibe that we be giving off.
Mhm. And I was just like, yeah. She was like, do you mind if we talk for a second? I didn't know what she wanted, but I mean, I was just standing there, so I was like, sure. So walked over there, and we just had a really long, in-depth conversation. Like she was a part of a spiritual community in Ohio somewhere, and there was just a bunch of different people from everywhere at this party. And we were just talking. I don't remember the entire context, but I do remember expressing to her like some of the things that I was dealing with at that moment, and vice versa. And she was like, well, you need to get some crystals. You need to get hematite. And I was just like, what are you talking about? I was like,
And like, what?
okay.
I don't know
So
what this is.
I have no idea what you're saying. But she told me, I wrote it down. And when I got back to Dallas, I went to a crystal store, same store I still go to till this day. And I had my books that I ordered from Amazon. And I was like walking around, and I was in there for hours. And I
I
remember
can
the guy.
imagine.
I mean, I was just in awe. I just felt home. I felt like this is going to be my place. This is going to be my thing. And I found all of the crystals, bought all the ones that I felt like resonated with me. And it's been an interesting journey ever since.
So, if someone wanted to like get, if someone were like wanted to get more information, you said you also order books in regards to crystals. Would there be a
Mm-hmm.
particular book you would recommend someone to read, or would you?
Absolutely.
Well, give us a
Mm-hmm.
recommendation. So, anyone out there that's thinking about getting into crystals and finding out more, what is the best reading source you think they would get? They
Mm-hmm.
should get.
Okay, so if you go on Amazon, there's these books by Judy Hall, and it's called The Crystal Bible. And there's different versions because I mean, 10 years ago when I first started, they've discovered many, many, many
More.
crystals. So there's like Crystal Bible 2, Crystal Bible 3. So and they've gotten more in depth as well. So I would recommend Judy Hall, the Crystal Bible, and she also has another book called the Chakra Bible. And those are just two really great basic books because I feel like they break it down to like a real novice level, so people aren't like reading this like, huh, what? So it
Yeah.
really breaks it all the way down to like the 12 healing crystals, like the 12 ones that resonate with our chakras the most, and then it goes from there. So you're not overwhelmed with all of the information, all of the People
I'm
are
like,
like, how do you know what other places are? How do you remember all this? I'm like, take some time. But if you start
I
from
was like,
chakras and you go from there, it's easy. But
I
JB
was
had
gonna
a
ask you about these chakras. We're gonna talk about these chakras. So
Mhm.
chakras,
Yeah.
what does that really mean? Because I hear people say like it aligns with your chakras. What are your chakras? What are chakras?
Okay, so pretty much you know that we have our physical body and we also have our soul. And
Mm.
it's my belief that those two things have to connect in some way, shape, or form. And we have our chakras that start from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet to help to keep our soul and our physical body aligned. That's how I like to explain it because it makes sense for me that way. So with that being said, you start from the very top. You have your crown chakra, which is up here, and then you have your third eye chakra, you have your throat chakra, heart chakra, and then here you have your solar plexus, you have your sacral, and then you have your root. And each one of those chakras resonate with a particular type of energy and they rotate. There's actually a cartoon that someone showed me. It's on
They
Netflix.
have a
It actually
cartoon.
it's anime or is it I don't remember, but it's an actual it's on Netflix and they go into detail. I don't remember. Don't make me lie. I'll get back with you.
It's gonna come
But
to you.
it's
It's gonna come to you in the middle of this
yeah,
interview. You're gonna be like, "Is
yeah.
this anime?" So, how many
But
chakras are there? So, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
yep, there's seven
What
main
do you mean?
chakras and then but okay. And there's
I
a
paid
bunch in
attention.
between. So based off of what people are dealing with at the time, our chakras get off balance just from energy, just what we encounter on a day-to-day basis.
Basis.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, no one is excused from it. You have to make sure. Okay, I have to remind myself all the time with me being an empath that I have to do even more work to make
Yeah.
sure that I balance myself out. I need to make sure that the priority is mine. But I feel as though each chakra is important to pay attention to when you feel lost so that you can direct your energy, your healing energy to that particular chakra and you can fix it.
All right. So, in regards to the chakras, when you got your first one, what chakra or what particular uh, energy were you looking to kind of bring into your life?
I would say my solar plexus chakra, well, honey, all my chakras. Okay, it was an off
Everything.
balance because trauma, if you hold on to trauma, if you hold on to past hurt, if you hold on to heavy energy for a long time, that does some damage on a
Mm,
spiritual level. It really does. And it took me years of intentional healing to really dig in there and figure out, and still am figuring out like where this energy flow is where the blockages are because the more that we learn, the more that we experience, the more work that we have to do, right? So
yeah.
I feel as though my chakra, the main one though, I would say would be the solar plexus chakra because that rules over self confidence, rules over your warrior spirit. It's what makes you feel self assured. It's that go getter spirit. And smoky quartz resonates with that chakra as well. And I want to say my root chakra because your root chakra is thrown off when you have a lot of fear of abandonment, fear of loss. And I feel as though there's a lot of energy and grief that hangs out in there too. And your root chakra is your first chakra. So that chakra is important to keep balance because you retrieve so much energy from the ground up below. It's like, um,
So you are very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. 10. I mean, but
hey,
10 years
thank you.
in. But the thing is, you spent
Yeah.
10 years, and you said you're still learning new. So when it comes to all the new, like you said, there have been new stones discovered. Is there any like particular stone that, say, when you first started, that you weren't aware of, that you weren't using, that you kind of use now and more of aware of now, or recommend to
Mhm.
people now?
Honestly, I'm I have such an old school mindset. I stick with what works for me.
Okay,
So there's certain
nothing wrong with that.
crystals that yeah, like the newer stones, there's nothing wrong with them at all. I've read about them. I'm still learning about them, but I still primarily use the same types of crystals for the same things because I've known them to work so many times for different people. There's certain stones in particular that every time someone comes to me for something specific, I recommend that because I've seen the results for people. I've heard feedback, so
Yeah.
I just tend to stick with what works. But I'm going to experiment with these newer stones, but also with COVID happening, it's made it
Yeah.
really difficult for dealers, which these crystals come from overseas, essentially. They're not here
Yeah.
to stay. At least not the ones that I get. So in order for them to get here, they have to have clearances and you have to be able to go to the shows. And it's been more difficult, so the pricing has gone up and they charge by the gram for it to get over here.
And
So,
usually they're like
um,
this big, some of them, right?
I mean, yeah, it depends on the stone. It depends on what they're made out of. They form in different clusters. Some form in
Mhm.
these spikes. Some form as just the quartz forms as just the stone itself. So really interesting. Like I try to follow all of the newness, but I stick to what I know primarily. The one that I recommend the most for people right now is black kyanite. That's the stone that I recently started working with because it's a stone that's known for cutting ties and it looks sharp.
Oh, I need one of those because I've been
Okay.
snip snip. We've been cutting people
Okay.
off in 2022. But
Okay. Yep. Definitely, that's what it's for. It's for cutting ties on all levels, and you can use it whenever you're meditating, literally to cut energy cords from your aura. You can use it during meditation. You can use it whenever you're writing down like the things you want to release, and you're like doing a little ceremony where you burn it and you cut. Yeah, there's so many things that you can do with black kyanite, and I'm learning more and more about its power. So I've been recommending that for people when they're wanting to really release, cut cords, let things go.
now
Yeah.
you make jewelry also with the crystals. So you also sell the crystals themselves, but then you also can make them into jewelry. So what all pieces do you make with your crystals?
So I primarily make pendants. That's my favorite thing to make. I'm able to get really creative with those. I also love to make rings. That's my next favorite. I were able to do different combinations, different styles that I've developed. We have deconstructed rings, and we have the double, and then we have the single. So you can get one crystal, two crystals, or you can just put a whole bunch together. So I really enjoy doing
Nice.
the custom pieces, talking to people about what it is that they're going through, what they're dealing with, and then figuring out, okay, these are the crystals that resonate with those things. Pick which ones you like, and then we can make something. So we have that as an option, and then hair jewels, lock jewels.
I would say
Um,
that's nice. That
yeah,
I've seen the
it,
log jewels. They're really beautiful.
they're a really good addition, to you have your lock so whenever you're rolling them out and you can adjust them to the sides. So I really like that. Um, And I really, honestly, I really like to get creative. So people come to me with ideas, and I'm like, oh, I've never done that, but let's see if we can do it. I've made face masks, like copper masks.
Oh,
And then somebody wanted me to do a seven chakra car hanger, and I started
oh,
making those.
okay, that's nice.
So yeah, so honestly, I'm always open. If someone has an idea, I always open to figuring out if I can do it or not.
Have you done
Just because I'm
earrings?
like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And to make earrings.
I was like, you didn't mention it, but I was like, I thought I've seen earrings. I just wanted
Yes,
y'all make sure
yes,
you tell everybody about all the stuff you sell now. You gotta tell them about,
yes,
you can get it in
yes.
any type of
So
form.
yes, earrings. I have made bracelets, but I don't make the beaded bracelets. I always recommend my friends whenever I have my beaded bracelets. When people want beaded bracelets, but I make copper bracelets with crystals wrapped on them. So
All right.
I just enjoy doing new things.
I'm saying the topic is having faith. So it you've been learning about crystals for 10 years, but you said just 3 years is when you kind of started to sell, like help others by
Mhm,
providing them in a way for them to have their own crystals. So
mhm.
what is it about helping people that kind of what is it that guided you to actually helping people by providing them with crystals?
I want to say how it started wasn't intentional. I didn't wake up and say, I'm going to start making jewelry and I'm going to help people with this. It wasn't at all. I actually had a job. I was in the military. I don't know if I mentioned that for 8 years. That was like, what?
You
Okay.
you do
Uh,
things for a long period of time. You're a committed person.
honey, honey, I have lived.
You have lived. I agree.
I have lived, honey. Um, No, but I was in the military for a while and I got out so that I could pursue my passion of nutrition. But in the midst of that, I realized, oh, wait, like I feel like there's something more. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like there is something more. And at the time while I was in school, I had a day job, but that job was definitely just a quick 12-hour shift that was very hands on. I used to ship boxes and it just I'm wasting my time here. There's absolutely
Mm,
this has nothing to how did I even get here? It's like how did we get here? So with that being said, I quit that job and I started doing Uber until Spirit led me to what it was that my passion was what how I could make my passion a thing. I just didn't know what the
yeah.
thing was. But in the meantime, just gonna do Uber. Long story short, I was robbed and my car was stolen.
In
And
Dallas.
I, girl, in
Oh,
Irving, in
damn.
broad daylight.
Damn. In Irving?
It's
Damn.
3 p.m. How is this going
You
on?
said at 3
And
p.m.?
it's 3 p.m. It was in the middle of the day. This is what you guys are doing.
Doing?
But
It's the middle of
that
the
was
day. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was Spirit's way. Since we're talking about having faith, that was Spirit's way of testing me. Because it was like, okay, so you quit your job because you're walking out on faith, right? All right, let's see how much faith you actually have. Because now you ain't got
Yeah.
no job and you ain't got no car.
No,
You're like,
that's
wow.
hard. That's hard. And then it's not like you just
I
like your car broke down, like that whole got stolen. Like that's
yes,
that's that's all whole other level of like
and I was working. I was Ubering in the middle. It's just a long story, okay? But either way,
that's just
I
God
was
telling you that
able
you supposed to be doing something else, and I'm sick of you Ubering. I'm gonna take your car.
thank you. That was exactly what
That
it was
yeah,
like. You know
that's what it
what?
was. This
You're
guy like you playing with me, I gotta take your car.
like, it's not cooking.
It's not
Okay.
clicking, so let me take the car.
No car, no job. Sit at home. Sit. Sit and you think. You think and you receive these messages I'm trying to get through your
Pretend
head.
you.
And then that's when people started reaching out to me because I was posting on social media just some of the pieces I was making because it was an activity. My roommate asked me to fix her copper necklace that broke, and I did, and it was fun. And I was like, I'm
And
about to wrap mine.
that is,
And people saw it, and people started reaching out and was like, hey, do you want to bend at my event? Or hey, can I get an order? And I was like, I don't have an inventory. It's just something that's just fun. They're like, can you make one? And I was like, oh, yeah,
I mean, yeah,
oh,
yeah. I'm
yeah.
gonna make one there. So that's
Girl, so
definitely
I have,
no. Keep
go
on.
ahead, I'm sorry.
You got it.
So I had just a little bit of time that I got an inventory together. I did my first show, and I want to say that's where it turned into a wow, this is a new passion of mine. Because at first it was just crafting. It was a way for me to relieve stress. It was something that was fun and creative to me. And then whenever I started getting feedback or whenever people's responses that I would get, it really made me feel like I was actually helping and making a difference. So that's whenever it became more of a like, okay, I can see this being an everyday thing, or I can see this being an every weekend type of thing.
I'm not understanding. So, basically, so job loss, car loss, and then you just really just like because damn, that's a lot. I don't know how. I know by having faith, you really had faith that you were going to find your calling.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned COVID. Like, how was it like continuing to push through and having faith that it was going to work out during COVID when you really couldn't? There weren't any event. There weren't even really like events for you to be a vendor. So, what type of ways did you kind of maintain your faith in it and work around the fact that you couldn't be at all of these like events where you could be a vendor?
Well, I will say this: I feel like faith has a lot to do with believing in the unseen, right?
True.
And for me, it's like it. You don't know. You really have no idea, so you have no choice. It's like you have no choice but to trust that things are going to work out because what's the alternative?
You
losing
know
your
what?
mind.
That is a good ass question. What is the other way? If you don't
What
have faith, what else is there?
what's the alternative? Losing your mind? Like, is
Giving
you
up.
have no choice. Giving up,
Because you can't
so
just
it's
give
like
up.
you can't. So it's like I've been in too many positions where faith was all I had to lean on. It was like this is the thing that's gonna get me through to tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next day, and then
Mhm.
things are gonna start to make sense. I want to say during COVID, I was finishing up my senior year of college, and I was supposed to go back after spring break, and COVID was like, yeah, you
No.
ain't going back, and I'm just like, what? So now we're in the midst of my senior year, and yeah, I have a full time business at this point, and school's
Mhm.
about to be over. You know what I mean? So there would be no more assistance with for students, anything like that. This is gonna be just you and this. So I
Yeah.
was just like, what am I gonna do? So I did what I know best, and that is I'm a resilient person. Okay, I was like, if
Yeah, I
it's
feel
not here, it's somewhere. Okay, this is happening somewhere.
somewhere.
So I was flying back and forth to Atlanta. I was flying back and forth to Miami
I
because
was gonna say
my
Atlanta didn't
family
shut down.
had
Florida didn't
stopped.
shut down. Georgia and Florida did
My
not shut down.
listen, Miami, they said we're gonna keep this party going. Okay,
Going.
and I was careful. I had my
Atlanta did
mask,
too.
and
Oh,
so
I went to Atlanta a lot during COVID. They did not care.
flights were cheap, and I had to do what I had to do. I was on the plane wrapping crystals, you know what I'm saying? And I slept when I slept, and I just did what I had to do to make sure things were good. But I also was really surprised as well with the feedback during. A lot of people were still shopping with me via Instagram. They would DM me, and then I started posting on my page and posting on my story, and I just had to get more active with social media.
Yeah.
Um, it can be difficult sometimes trying to keep up with posting and things like that on
Yeah,
social
it
media,
can.
especially with a business and when you have your own life and you're trying to do your own woosah, but you also have to be present on social media to, you know, serve a
Make it
business.
work.
So COVID was a challenge, because of that reason, dealing with all right, we're being isolated, what's gonna happen with this, and that, everyone around us is getting sick, we're
Yeah. Yeah.
concerned, so it's just like balancing out the personal, but also having to make sure that I'm in a space to help other people. So um I ended up starting the Goddess Circle, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
I have
Um,
seen you post about the goddess circle. I've been following you for some years. I've been in Dallas for some years. Not as long as
okay,
you, but I've been in Dallas for
okay.
some years. I have been in
Yes,
Dallas
and
for
I
some
do plan
years.
on starting it up again, but I did take a little. I feel like we all did. A lot of the people that were in the Goddess Circle, we all got what we needed from the circle. Everybody, like, we were really committed to that journey at the time, and everyone started to get their wings and fly off and do such great things, and that was the purpose.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I feel like I needed to stop and do some more internal work and do some refreshing for myself, which I have to constantly remind myself to do. Like, hey, you got your own
Work
stuff.
on for you.
Yeah, what I'm saying? Help others, but continue to, um, take care. So I want to say I want to start that up again because that was also a really great way to stay grounded during COVID. And we were outside, so we had our space, we had our,
Free all the
yeah,
outside area that
yeah,
you had to be in anyway to have groups of
yeah,
people.
yeah. We had our yoga mats. I'm like, we're just gonna, have our space, be at the park, and it was just our way of getting out of the house and being able to just
Yeah.
breathe for a little
Be
bit.
around people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
I didn't even ask what does having faith mean to you? Like you had to define what having faith because you kind of went into it. You said that it's about faith is believing something you can't see. But
yeah.
how does that how does that guide you in your life?
I want to say that honestly, faith is part of my everyday life, and
Yeah.
I want to say that piggybacking back off of what I said earlier about faith being believing in what you can't see. Life is changing every day. We don't
Yeah.
know what the hell's gonna happen tomorrow. So essentially we're all living by faith. every day, every time we walk outside the door.
Side.
You know, like we have
Yeah.
faith that you're gonna get back home. You know, and it's like, what is telling you that that's going to happen? Nothing. That's just a belief. You
True.
believe you are. You know what I'm saying? So I believe faith is a part of whether we believe it or not, or whether we are intentional with that belief. It's like we are living and walking by faith, but when you are intentional with your faith, I feel like you are so much more powerful because you can use that to comfort yourself during times of extreme stress, you know. And
Yeah.
not to get into it, but I've had a lot of situations happen. We dove into it a little bit, and if it
Yeah, I'm
wasn't
about to
for
say
you,
you had like that.
listen, if it,
That would have been like, I don't know what type of believer you are, but back then I would have just broke down. I would have like at least had a moment where I would have
of
just cried.
course, oh, of course, and I allow
Just
myself
cried.
to cry. I allow myself to cry. I feel like I'm breaking. You have to release that energy. You know
Yeah,
what I
because if you
mean?
hold it in, it's gonna be
You have
worse.
to feel it. You have to feel it, heal
Yeah.
it, and move forward. And I feel like during that time, that was really important for me to remember. Like, have faith, like understanding that, making sense of it. Like you're not being punished for anything. Like, this is a
Yeah,
part of your
true.
journey. This is the exchange. This is what you agreed upon. This is a part of your growth. Like, we don't know when it's gonna get better, but it's going to because it has to. It can't get no worse than this. Like, that's how
About to
that's
say,
just like that
because
pep
at that
talk.
point it's like, what else? What else could?
Yes, I mean, it
No.
can only go up, you know.
Yeah.
So I really feel like, and knowing that you are destined for your path and that you're on your path, like really believing that, like you're destined for your path, you're on your path, like nothing's gonna throw you off of it. It's meant for you. And I just feel like if you just connect with any type of belief system, like you're having faith, like have faith in that. Lean on that whenever you're going through something so that you can get through it.
Oh no, I definitely appreciate it. I mean, that's inspirational because I know there are people that like have been through less and would have thrown in the towel. So that's a lot. I mean, there are plenty of people that lost their job during COVID that may have ended them losing their car. And you're right. It's like you have to believe that things are going to get better, even when it seems bleak. You have to be like, it either can sit here and just be sad and then do nothing, or I can be sad and at least try to figure out what I can do next.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it comes to like your crystals and everything else, so you also mentioned you wanting to open a food truck.
Hmm.
So when it comes to that and having faith in that, are you? I'm trying to figure out. Are you going to do both? Like have like where it's like a double sided truck where you serving food, but then you
Hey,
also
hey,
serving
hey,
crystals.
hey, hey! You giving out my secret?
My bad.
You
I mean,
you
I'm just
you
thinking like
giving out
how
the
Libra think like that
secret?
makes sense. Like that'd be dope.
That
That'd be dope.
makes perfect sense. No,
It does
and
make
yeah,
perfect sense.
I mean, honestly, like I can definitely. I don't want to put all, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I do plan on at some point. Not quite sure when, but I do want to have a storefront at some point. I just
Oh,
know
that
that
is
that would.
amazing.
I feel like that would put me very. I enjoyed the traveling aspect. I
Hmm.
I have definitely slowed down the travel the past year just to ground myself here. But as far as like Miami is concerned, and Atlanta is concerned, and LA is concerned, and everywhere, Wisconsin and New York, like there's so many places, so many events, so many different artists, so many different, and I enjoy that learning. I enjoy that
Yeah.
connecting. And that's something that I feel like I want to make sure that I get and enjoy before I do my, I do want to do, but
Yeah.
I feel like it'll come. But my food truck, I have thought about ways like how can I make this like food
One,
oriented?
you can do it.
Yeah.
I can totally
You
see
know
that though. Because it's like you can get your chakras in line as you get your stomach full. You know what I'm saying? Like you just
what I mean?
Cause it all plays into it. So if okay, I'm gonna give you like if someone was, I'm gonna say dealing with loss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm gonna give a couple different situations, and then I want you to like recommend different crystals.
Okay,
Okay,
let's do it.
someone dealing. So the first we're gonna see someone dealing with loss. It could be loss of a loved one, loss of family, friends. What'll be a crystal that helps with loss?
So I would recommend two different things. So one that helps with
Okay,
grief and loss, anxiety, depression is pyrite.
all right, okay,
So pyrite is also known as fool's gold. So it's you've probably seen it before. It's like it's like a cluster of gold. It's just a really
okay,
bright gold. So that stone is really great for dealing with grief if you just lost a loved one. So that one in combination with like black tourmaline, because I always recommend black tourmaline as a stone that helps with absorbing any type of heavy energy and transmuting it. It's a stone that doesn't need to be cleansed. So it's a stone you don't have to worry about. You make sure I cleanse it and charge it because if you're not too familiar with stones and you're a beginner, you're going to forget to do those things, you know. And I believe that having those two things combined would be a really perfect piece for somebody that's dealing with grief or anxiousness, depression. We just cover all of that.
all right, okay. You know what? Infertility. I know there's crystals that help with that. If someone was dealing with infertility, even man or woman,
I already got it.
what?
Sorry.
Now you know what crystal would help with that?
Unitite.
Unicorn.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry, friends. I'm about to put y'all all out there, but I have made a unitite necklace for 4 people, and they all have gotten pregnant or had healthy pregnancies, had the baby, or is pregnant right now. So don't come to me
Dang,
if
for
you need
real?
some
Oh, that's
unitite.
great. I was like, if you're really trying to get pregnant, so which one this is unicorn? I'm not trying to get
Unitite.
pregnant. Don't worry. I'm just asking because I
But
haven't heard of that one. I've heard the other
I
ones.
go off of the facts. Okay, I go off of the facts. I'm going literally. Two of my best friends are pregnant at the same time. One of them was having issues with getting pregnant. The other one, she just wanted to have a healthy pregnancy. And literally, as soon as I gave her the crystal, she's like, "Girl," she was like, "Well, looks like it worked. I'm pregnant." And I'm like,
I knew it. Okay. So unicorn. Okay.
"You know, my sister, same thing." So,
No. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure I don't get that one.
oh, but also rose quartz. That's also a good one. I've done combo pieces with both of those before. Because rose
Okay.
quartz is
Rose
just a
quartz.
really good stone. Any stone that's going to help with the reproductive system.
Okay. Let me think. You know what? Okay. What if someone's dealing with pain? It could be actually physical pain or mental pain.
Okay. On what level? Like sorrow? Because we already covered
Mm.
grief.
We did cover
Heartbreak?
grief. Pain, yes, that's that. Yes, heartbreak. If someone was going through
Okay, we gotta
heartbreak.
get specific.
Yeah, I know I
Okay,
like
yeah.
the
So,
specifics though. If there people to give a living right, you're listening, they're dealing with everything, they're dealing with heartbreak, what would you recommend?
mhm. Okay, so if you're dealing with heartbreak, I would recommend. We just spoke about rose quartz. Rose
Mm,
quartz connects to the heart chakra, so you're gonna want to help deal with heart chakra issues. So there's a couple of different things depending on how heavy this heartbreak is, or if you're dealing with like a heartbreak that happened like 10 years ago, like it's a past hurt that keeps reoccurring, or it's like I just went through a breakup and I'm trying to like love myself more. So rose quartz would be the I want to love myself more. I remind myself to love others unconditionally and also heal my heart. And then danbarite, which is a really high vibrational crystal that works with the heart chakra, that would help to dig really deep in there and
mm.
pull up those past hurts and traumas so that you can address them and deal with them and release them. There's so many. There's chrysoprase, which is another heart healing crystal, and it's green. And green aventurine is another one. Green stones are going to help to bring in new love after being hurt for a long time.
I
It'll
was
help
just gonna
release
that
that.
was my next thing. If you're
You're
looking
welcome.
for love, I'm gonna say if you're looking for love, what is a good
Yes.
crystal? So that's
Uh,
so you're looking for love, you said that. What is the one you just named?
green aventurine.
Green aperture. So if you're what else? Well, are there other ones if you're looking for love and say you're completely healed and say you're ready to
Mm-hmm.
find someone. So what else would you
Mm-hmm.
recommend?
I always recommend green. I always recommend green because I feel like green represents growth and
Mm,
it brings
okay.
in that like lighthearted energy of just like love and abundance. And that's the stone that represents abundance is Green Aventine. So that's the one I always stick with. Um, other than that, that's the only one I'm really calling towards right now. Jade is another great one, but jade is often something that I don't keep in stock because it is such a high quality stone that I just don't want to just have anywhere. I like to pick it out for the person. And
Okay.
it's also purchased by the gram too. So it's like, oh, if you want jade, I can find you jade. But
But
if it's something,
don't be surprised by how much it costs.
okay,
Okay,
hmm.
so okay, last one. Um, what if someone is going like help you? Let me think. Let me think. I'm trying to think of different feel. Okay, I guess if you're we said depression and anxiety, you mentioned those. What if um I'm trying to think. Okay,
Well,
what is no, I know. What you gonna say?
I can tell you what people come to me for often.
That's what I
Like
was
what's
gonna ask.
their
Look at you, same
yeah.
wavelength. What is your most
Hey,
common stone? Yes, what's your most common stone that
yeah.
people normally ask you for?
So the most popular ones that people come to me for is people often want to come for they want to feel more joy, more optimism, more lighthearted energy. They want to be connected to like success, money, just like that high abundant energy. So I always recommend citrine, and citrine is a yellow orange stone, but that's known as the merchant stone. So it helps to attract like money and lighthearted energy. It helps to like open up your solar plexus chakras, so it's that warrior spirit, that confidence and joy. It's just a really great happy stone. So people come for that and protection, of course.
Mm.
Protection from negative energy, just like stones to help with keeping away negative energy. So black tourmaline's another really popular one. So when I was telling you about that helps to transmute.
Yeah, I can imagine a
Amethyst.
lot of people coming for that one.
Okay, amethyst as well because amethyst is a protection stone,
Okay.
but it's also really great for relaxation. It's beautiful. It's purple. People love it. Really pretty
They're
stone.
pretty.
Yeah, and I want to say love is another one. So we already covered that one. So people usually come for love, protection, joy, and optimism. I do get a few times where people have come for very specific things, and I enjoy when people get really personal and give me as many details as they want, where it's not just something as simple as this. It's like, I need healing from that. These are my intentions. Because we can go there, where if
Yeah.
you need me to, as a stone, we can do that because I also offer tarot card readings, so I'm an energy reader. So that's probably how I was picking up on what you was about to say.
Come on, say yeah, no, because I'm like that was what I was about to ask. I was like, what's a common one? Because those
so,
ask me.
um, so I do enjoy doing readings like right before so that we can get even more in depth into what it is that you need or what it is that you are wanting to attract right now. So really it's based off of what it is you want to attract or what it is that you want to release or what it is you want to work on.
Have
So
you ever gotten like a really weird request, like a really weird stone that you've not been aware of, or like someone wanted you to make something really weird or awkward?
I've never had anyone actually make anything awkward because any type look, I don't have no problem with blocking somebody. Okay? I will
Hey,
block
that's the
you.
Libra in us. I will block
I
you in
will
a
block
heartbeat. I will
you.
block you.
Okay. I'm very, very mindful of my boundaries. I do not allow my boundaries to be crossed. This is a business at the end of the day. I
Yeah.
am here to help you, not to date you.
I'm
Okay.
like,
And
where's something like, can you make me like some nipple rings with the crystals in it?
no, but I'm like it's gotten. I have had people make pretend to want to order something and with no intentions, just to have a conversation. I'm like, oh, you're feeling weird.
That's
It's like
like
so. I've had
that is that's desperate. Like, come on, people.
yeah, I've had people pretend. Yeah, it's So I just feel as though your vibe attracts your tribe. So I do try to keep an open mind about like as long as I know that like, hey, my people are gonna come to me and I'm gonna find my people and we're gonna help each other. I just try to tune out all of the weird
Not
stuff,
everything else.
'cause you're gonna get it. It's social media. You know what I
Yeah, I was
mean?
gonna say, has anyone tried to like doubt your faith and doubt you in your path
Oh
when you first
yeah,
started
I get it till this day at events. I get it on social
at
media.
events? Like people will say things to you.
Or they'll ask me questions like, "Does this stuff really work?" or you're not scared of those,
What do you think they are?
or
Like totems of the devil or something?
yeah,
Like is this crystal?
no, it's interesting. I don't get offended at all because I know that people's statements are based off of a lack of understanding, and I tell
Understanding
them
or
that.
knowledge?
I was like, no, it's like I understand. I was like, I said, fear is just a lack of understanding. I was like, and I said, if you have questions, feel free to ask, and I am more than open to let you know what it is. I am in no way, shape, or form here to force anyone to believe anything. It doesn't matter to me. This works
Yeah,
for me. It's helped me. It's done wonders and still does. If I'm consistent with it,
yeah,
because we're all human. Whenever we get off, like I have to make sure that I do extra because of how much work that I do to help other people. I have to make sure I do extra help for myself. Okay. So I feel like as long as you're intentional with it, it's all gonna work out. It's all about what it is you're doing.
have you ever had anyone that was a doubter that they came back and were like, you know what? I actually, I've researched, I looked into it, and actually now I want to buy a few pieces.
Actually, right after I was done talking, they were like, "Oh wow."
Oh,
They're like,
oh, oh,
I respect the fact that you were able, because I'm knowledgeable. I'm not out here just spitting out stuff. Like
yeah,
I am very confident in what it is that I know. And not to come off arrogant, but it's like I know this. I have this knowledge for to help people. So it's like if you're not here for that, then please excuse yourself. This is they need my energy. They need my time. They need my attention. And
yeah,
whenever they're like, oh no, I'm open to hearing, okay, great, so because at first they were a little offensive, but then once they opened their mind, an open mind, we were able to talk about it. And at the end of our discussion, they were like, wow, like I had no idea. And they were able to realize like that I just had a fear based knowledge. A lot of my beliefs and a lot of the things that I deal with have a lot to do with my roots. And a lot of
yeah.
people don't know their roots, and that's the issue, and I feel like that's where a lack of understanding can come from sometimes, because we've been taught to believe certain things, and
I mean,
we're
you
taught
being from Louisiana, what are you? What roots are you referring to? I'm
well,
just saying
I
because
do have
Louisiana has so many different, pots, and they have
yeah,
Cajun, they have, there's a bunch of different people in
yeah.
Louisiana. So when you say your roots, what are you like referring to?
Oh, my people are Haitian Creole. We're Creole.
Haitian Creole.
So
Okay, that's why I asked. And it was Cajun, Haitian
yeah, my
Creole. That's a
great
lot.
grandma was European. My dad, my biological dad, he's Korean. We're not gonna even go there. I'm mixed up. But on my mama's side, I was raised in Louisiana, born and raised, and we have a lot of Creole culture, and a lot of my people I resonate with African spirituality. I resonate with a lot of Haitian spirituality. There's just so many things that I've learned in roots with the hoodoo. Is what I wanted to reference. People
Mm,
don't know what that is. They're like hoodoo, voodoo, it's all the same. It's like
it's
it's
not
not,
the
but
same.
nothing's wrong with either. Nothing's wrong with anyone's spiritual practice, actually. If it resonates with a person and helps them get through tough times, which is the purpose of having a spiritual practice, that's all that should really matter. I'm like,
It is. No, I agree. I agree.
as
I
long as
remember
it
I was
works for you,
you
absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
As long as it works for you, no one should judge anyone for what works for them. As long as it isn't hurt anyone, as long as it isn't malicious, as long as it isn't
Mhm.
intentionally being evil, then you're perfectly fine. Like um, I'm going to say this. People probably be mad at me. I had made a statement and I said I didn't want to date anyone that identified as a witch. Now, after I said that, I said I have no problem with anyone that identifies as a witch. That is their personal belief, their practices. That is perfectly fine. As long as they're not hurting anyone, I could care less. I just said I didn't want to date them because I'm from Mississippi, and I know for a fact if I take anyone home
Mhm.
that say there's a witch, it's not going to go over well. Plus, and
Yeah.
I'm not, and not that I'm uninformed. I know there's different there's a bunch of information that we get that are wrong. It's just put out wrong. Like the hoodoo voodoo, people are stupid. But it's just about being informed. Uh,
Mhm.
my mom comment, mom, I know doggone well you wouldn't deal well with that. No, no, it wouldn't go over well. I know you. But but ain't nothing wrong with it if that's what you believe. Because
Mhm.
whew, yeah, you got that right. I know, mom. I know. But that is your own personal belief. Like again, there's nothing wrong being spiritual and not necessarily being Christian based. If it does not hurt anyone, is it something that makes you feel good? It's about having faith in something. I feel like if
Mhm.
you just walk around here and you don't have like any belief, then I have more of a problem with you. I can't be your friend. If you just walk around here like I don't believe in anything, I just believe that I'm just waking up in the morning and just going with life. Like no, but being
Because you
informed,
see, mm-hmm.
keep going.
No,
A
I
lot
was
of
just agreeing with you. Because a lot of people don't know that, or they
oh
don't
no,
recognize that.
no, a lot of people are so stuck in their ways, and it's like it doesn't matter. Like I just want you have to believe in something. You have to believe in something, and a lot of our tradition should go back to more African based, more back to Haitian Creole, and all of our other like all of
Mhm.
our actual roots, our real actual roots. I am
Mhm.
still Christian, but I am more informed in regards to our African roots. I do want to get more
Christian,
informed
did
about
you
my roots.
know, not to cut you off, did you know that Christian roots are a lot of Christian roots are actually in line with African spirituality.
Yes, it is. It's
It's
more
like
in line with that than anything else. Yeah.
so it's like I tell people that all the time is that it doesn't mean that you're like stepping away from Christianity when you start to learn about African spirituality. You're more
It
so
diving deeper
getting
into it.
diving
I
deeper
mean,
into
Jesus is
it.
black. Jesus is black. If you don't know that Jesus is black, we gonna have a problem. Um,
hmm
let's be real. If you go back into the Bible and you look into his description, Jesus was a black man. Jesus didn't have blue eyes and long straight hair. No, it was coarse, and he had brown eyes. So it's like, yeah, it is. He came from African descent. Everything about us is spiritual. Everything about us is faith based. Everything about our ancestors are that. They just had a different word. They had different religion, but it's very similar in regards to the faith base. Not necessarily the Bible, but a lot of faith base is very similar to African spirituality.
Yeah. And I wanted to say the main aspect I wanted to take away from that was, and I was raised Christian Baptist,
Mm.
non-denominational, so it was a little bit more Kirk Franklin than, it was more like it was hip hop Christian. I don't know what the hell I was choosing. I wanted to make it more enjoyable for us,
Yeah.
But I was raised in church, and it was interesting when I started to learn more about African spirituality. I was like this altar situation. Like again, it should feel more in alignment with you. Your belief
Hmm.
system should be something that works for you, not just because someone told you to believe this, but because
Yeah.
you genuinely believe it. And when I started learning about the what an actual altar is and what's supposed
Yeah.
to be there, I was like, wait, I was like, okay, so I can create my own altar here at home, and I can align with my ancestors through here just by honoring them with like photos and candles and plants. And when I started to actually feel that closeness, I did it when my grandma passed away. I built an altar and I put her picture there. And I was just like, wow, I was like, so this is what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be a personal connection, you know, and being able
Turn
to
your mic
connect.
up just a little. Apparently, it's a little hard to hear you. Okay, say something.
Okay, can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yes, I can hear you. Apparently, the audience can't. Someone commented. My mom
Oh,
commented and said it's a little bit low. That's all. I can hear you though.
okay, I can speak up.
That
Is that
also works.
better?
That also
Okay.
works. Speaking of also works.
I am working on projection. I have a tendency to speak like this. I'm
It's
working
probably
on
your
it.
hair too, though, because these
Okay.
AirPods, how they work, is like this. But I can hear you when you
Okay.
speak up.
Why are you saying I forgot?
Cause I can hear
Okay.
you. My mom said it is better, but I could hear you. I guess because I have it all the way turned up in mine, so I've been hearing you.
Okay.
Okay, but you built the altar for your grandmother. You had her picture. Do you also? So I knew someone that had an altar, and they also. So you can have money that you give your ancestors that I had no idea about. That you basically give them money so that way you're giving them an offering. What else?
Every
I
day,
can't.
I give my grandma my money. Every time I come home, I'm like, please help me make this more abundant. So we have a whole ritual. I have ancestor money that's already there. You can actually buy
Ancestor money. That's what
ancestor
it is.
money. And then anything that I receive, I always give it to her, and then it doubles back. So we have an exchange. I feel like everyone needs to understand that they have a particular mission, and once they connect with that mission, Spirit's going to help you achieve what it is you want to achieve. But you have to be consistent with it. You have to have the right intentions behind it. You have to
Hmm.
stay connected with those good intentions in order to see longevity in your success.
True.
People get thrown off because they'll see people get things before they do it. They're like, well, how are they able to do this and do that? And they're not this type of person or whatever. It's like, wait for your time because you want your time to be longevity. You don't want
Yeah.
just a short spurt of success or happiness or joy. You want to have that forever. So I feel as though when I really started to connect with my altar and really started to connect with my ancestors in that way, like I started to have a lot more faith that that was something that I was destined for.
Yeah, because it was some it grounded you and made and you were at peace. Having faith also gives you peace. Give you peace of
Yeah.
mind, peace in your life, peace. There's peace in general, and it allows you to also again have your chakras aligned. When you're at peace and you're happy, everything is kind of flows better. Just flows. Now I see you're also wearing a piece. What are you wearing right now? The crystal.
Oh my god, what am I wearing? I don't know if you can see it. Turn this
Oh, it's
way.
two of them.
Yes. So it's let me see, look, I can't really see. Orange
We
carnelian
got
and
you.
red jasper.
So
Orange
what are so
carnelian and red jasper.
do you what do they do? And are these the only ones you wear, or do you switch out your crystals?
I do switch them out, but right now this is the one I've been primarily wearing for the past couple of months. It has red jasper, which connects to your base chakra, your root chakras, what we talked about.
Hmm.
So that not connecting with fear, releasing fear, just releasing and making sure that I feel grounded because I can, Libras, we be in our heads, and we be in the
Yeah,
clouds.
we live there.
We need to come back. We need to
We
come
live
back
there.
to here, to reality. Okay? So I feel as though that was something I've really been eating lately, so I've been sticking with that. And then orange carnelian helps with sacral chakra, which is our creative surge energy. And that's right above it. It's like in our navel area. So I feel as though with me being a creative, needing to have that creative flow of energy circulating, and also being grounded with that red jasper, I was like, we're gonna put those two things
Do
together.
together. It's really beautiful. I know people don't know she hand make these. She can make them. She makes them usually upon your request.
Yeah.
So
Orange,
we're gonna end it up. It's been a great episode, but of course before we end, you're gonna have to tell everyone about if you're in the Dallas area or because you travel. You mentioned you be out here. Um, the next few maybe weeks, months, any events that you already have on the ticket on the book, please name. And then also I
all
got
right.
you. Also, everybody, those are her IGs. You can follow those as well. But she's going to tell you where she's going to be at, so that way y'all can be prepared.
Yes. So when I say this Saturday, it's gonna be my last weekend of April. So April 30th, I'll be at Pancakes and Booze. It's gonna be at Deep Ellum Art Company, and it's in Deep Ellum. So it's gonna be a huge art festival. A lot of artists are gonna be there. It's a traveling art
Hmm.
festival. Tickets are like $10. I think I have a code still. I think I have one more person that can get in on that. It's like 30% off. So if you want to go, let me know. But and that Saturday, free pancakes. So
And
it should
booze. I
be
mean, you
fun.
said
I'm really
pancakes and
excited about
booze. I
that.
mean,
Yes,
I'm
I
not.
am excited for that
Yeah, I
one.
like pancakes. Although
And the next
I'm not
event,
drinking right now, but I like pancakes.
the next event is going to be May 7th. And on May 7th, I'm going to be first. We're going to be in Deep Ellum again at the Harlow MXM. The Harlow has a market that happens at the first Saturday of the month. So I want to say it's going to be, yep, May 7th. I got to go look at my
It's May
calendar.
7th.
But May 7th,
It's May
it's going to
7th.
be
I
on
got you.
Friday from 11 to 5. And then after that, I'm going to Sue Ellen because we got lesbian happy hour.
They does
Okay?
days. Happy hour.
They do days now,
You
okay,
days.
on Saturdays. So I'll be there until 9, 10 o'clock. So you can catch me on those places on May 7th. So yeah,
Girls
and
booked
then
and busy.
I have a couple of other shows lined up, but you'll have to stay tuned for those. They're going to be posted on my IG pages.
As you see, her IGs are floating around the bottom. Now, those of you that are tuning in, because this is going to play Saturday for those of you that unfortunately missed it live, I'm going to have her spell out both of her IGs because they are long, and I don't have the wind breath to be doing it.
Okay. Okay, so my first IG is Simplistic Beauty 1989. So you can spell it
Um, y'all better learn how to spell Simplistic Beauty
simplistic.
1989.
S I
Simplistic. I
M
can't. I
P
can't
L I
spell.
S T I C. But you know what? It's okay because if not, Noel underscore divine. That's really easy. NOELS underscore DIVINE. And in my bio is my Simplistic Beauty page. So we
Yes,
have
it is.
both pages.
Follow
Yeah.
both. Do not slide her DMs unless it's about business purposes, people. She
No,
says she will
no, but
block you.
no, I do encourage people to reach out if they want to book a tarot card reading. I do have a link in my bio for that, so I do recommend that. If you have questions about tarot, if you have questions about crystals, those are always welcome. I do not mind. I love talking about stones and helping people figure out which ones are best for them. I do those consultations, so if people don't know anything about crystals at all, they're always welcome to reach out to me, and I can talk to them about which crystals will be best for them.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you for coming out. You actually informed me with a lot because I thought I knew a little something
Yeah.
about crystals, but
Right.
you definitely informed me more. Because I mean, I do have my bracelet
Mhm.
that I
What do
got
you have?
from so I got this from Gems by Charlie.
Oh yeah, I love Gems by Charlie. Is that
Yeah.
shopper one?
Yes, it is. It does have
All
all
right.
of the major crystals, like the purple one you named. I do
Mhm.
have that one. The
Mhm.
green one that I do know their names, but not off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you. No, I'm not. I'm not as well as you. I'm not even do that.
Yeah.
But it does
Well,
have
hey,
all
don't
chakras.
charge your crystals. Don't charge your crystals on Saturday, okay?
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
I think I'm going to. I'm going. I'm not. I'm not gonna. I usually promise, but I have doing that. Like I'm doing like a 30-day cleanse, so I'm not
Mhm.
drinking. I'm not doing sweets. I'm not doing a lot of things that just aren't good for me. You know. So I'm going to try to come because I haven't done lesbian after on a Saturday yet, but I have been trying to chill more. I'll be outside a lot. And I be trying. I'm trying to recharge a
Mhm.
little, but.
I did want to say this Saturday is an eclipse, so don't charge your crystals
Oh.
during an eclipse. It's a big no-no. You don't want your
Hmm.
crystal to absorb the
Any
energy
of that.
of an eclipse. That the eclipse
Okay,
is meant to
people. Y'all
sweep
heard her.
away, do stuff. That, yeah, it's doing some
Do
work
not
and
charge on Saturday. If you're gonna charge a
no,
crystal, do it any other day but Saturday.
don't
And
do them anymore.
I actually
It's
got
just gonna
I have a quick actually you might have a purchase by me. So we're gonna talk
okay,
after the show. So other than that,
okay.
if anyone has any questions for her, you got those IGs right there if you're watching. She also said those to us, so y'all those that are listening on Saturday. I'm gonna say it one time. I'm only gonna give y'all Noel's Divine because I'm definitely not doing the second one. So anyone listening to this and you missed the live show, it's Noel's underscore divine is NOELS underscore DIVINE. Follow her, ask her questions. She just said she's willing to help you. And I'm personally getting some help, y'all, myself. So if I can do it, y'all can do it. Everyone can do it, and she's here to help. I want to thank you for coming out, man. It's been great
Thank
talking to you.
you.
Everyone that,
It was
you
so
know,
fun talking to you.
oh,
Libras always
great.
have fun. We just kidding.
We do have fun. We do have fun. My mom is also a Libra. Shout out to
What?
moms.
Dang. Shout out to
Hey,
mom.
shout out to mom. Uh, Everyone that's watched, I want to thank you for watching. If you missed it, tune in Saturday. It'll be live at noon. Other than that, peace.
Bye.